Hey everyone, hey movie fans. Good morning. We are live the morning after the history-making SAG Awards with a brand spanking exciting new episode of FYC. I'm Scott Mance, joined as always by the amazing Perri and the mighty Jeff Snyder. And wowie wawa, Perri, what is your take on the outcome of the SAG Awards?
I mean, whatever you just said to describe them.
Wowie wawa.
I'm very excited about how it shakes up the awards race and all the acting, not all the acting categories, but many of the acting categories and Best Picture. I was also I know we're talking movies here. I was especially excited to see all the Squid Game love last night. I love that show. I love that cast. And it was just really exciting to see them get honored so much. As much as I love Succession, like Succession is the juggernaut, and it feels like Squid Game just kind of like snuck in there and took some major awards. And I couldn't be more happy for them.
I thought that Squid Game was going to take the top prize.
Was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. And then I went to Succession. I was like, okay. You know, I mean, I love Succession too. Jeff texted me last night after the SAG Awards. He texted both of us and he went, wow. And for Jeff Snyder to text and say, wow, I mean, it doesn't get bigger or bolder than a wow text from Jeff Snyder. Jeff, how are you feeling this morning?
I mean, I could have predicted most of the winners, right? Like I thought Coda was going to win. We thought Troy was going to win. We kind of knew that Will Smith and Ariana were headed in the bag or whatever. But Jessica Chastain, wow.
Yeah.
That was big.
I just want to say that Perri and I have been singing the praises of Jessica Chastain from the beginning. So, Jeff, are you now on Team Chastain, or we'll have to get to that conversation when we discuss lead actors?
No, do you know me at all? I'm stubborn to change my mind at this course of the game. No, we're going to get into that when we get into the Best Actress category. But there's no question that Jessica Chastain coming on strong late.
Yeah, she sure does. So just everyone knows, SAG-AFTRA has 160,000 members, and only 2,500 of them, they have a SAG nominating committee who votes for the SAG nominees. But then when it comes to the actual winners, all 160,000 members vote for the winners of the SAG Awards. So, of course, it is the biggest guild by far, but also, of course, the acting branch represents the biggest branch of the Academy. So we'll have to see how all of this will play out with the Oscars. But let's first get to supporting male. Of course, this is a big win, a history-making win for Troy Kotsur, for Coda, the first individual acting win at the SAG Awards for a deaf actor. And so, Perri, what's your take? Obvious, right?
No, I don't think it was obvious. I definitely think my predictions for SAG were the same as my predictions have been for quite a while for the Oscars. I think it was a really tight race between Troy and Kodi Smit-McPhee for the Power of the Dog. But
Agreed.
Last night, the second Troy won, I put him in my number one spot on Gold Derby, and I put Kodi in two. I always knew there was a chance one or the other could win, but I've always had Kodi with the edge since the very beginning until now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about you, Jeff?
I mean, I think in recent weeks, I got that feeling that Troy Kotsur was just not going to be denied this season, that he just has this narrative that Kodi is young. And I don't know, there's something about the Academy doesn't often reward young males because it's like, oh, they're going to have a long career. And Kodi does have a long career ahead of him. So yeah, I was just thrilled for the representation of it all. I think it's like, I remember watching Coda last January. And it was either that night or the following day, I found Troy Kotsur on social media and I sent him a message and I was just like, hey man, you truly impressed me. You blew me away. I was trying to find that message just now and I don't know where it was and which platform it was on, but like, this has been a special performance that stayed with me through the year. And I'm glad that it is affecting voters, it seems like, this season.
Well, I'm with both of you. And I'm also with Perri. Like, I really felt like it could go to either Troy or Kodi Smit-McPhee. And I was I thought that Troy Kotsur deserved it, but I thought that maybe Cody would win because I felt like Power of the Dog has to win something tonight. And while I had another movie, I was very, very happy with the outcome of the Best Acting Ensemble because that is what I predicted. I felt, well, if I'm going for that film for Outstanding Ensemble, then maybe, this will be where Power of the Dog gets something. But without question, Troy won. He deserved to win. I mean, that's where my heart was. And so in the last 27 years, or the previous 27 years, since the SAG Awards have been around, 18 out of the last 27 winners of supporting actor went on to win the Academy Award for supporting actor, including last year, Daniel Kaluuya won both. So, it's like the SAG Awards are they like super, super accurate? I mean, it's certainly in its favor, but it's not like it's a sure thing. But in this case, I think it is. What do you think, Perri?
In this case, I think it is, but I feel like all those statistics that we usually lean on they're not worthless, but they're not as meaningful as past years because the calendar is all screwy because we had another odd pandemic year. I feel like there's a lot of reasons right now to maybe not necessarily fully trust all of the usual signs that someone will or will not win.
Jeff?
I just generally don't think any of these precursors really matter. Like it's a different voting body. It's a different weight to each award. So while I'd love to read into these CODA wins as like, oh, this is a boon for its Best Picture chances, I feel like I'd be hypocritical because if something else had won, I'd be making, a different argument or whatever. So I don't know. I think that Troy Kotsur has overtaken Cody as the front runner in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to repeat that I do think these precursors matter, not necessarily for the statistic of, or as much for the statistic of, usually this person goes on to win if they won this award or were nominated for this and this. But I think it's for these reasons.
Well,
like Jessica points out. That someone gets up on stage like that, gives a really impassioned acceptance speech, and it just amplifies what they achieved, what their movies achieved, and it could put a certain movie, a certain performance, a certain job on a film set at the top of someone's mind where it might not have been before. That's how I think these things.
And he's representing a community too, whereas Cody is not representing a community. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. Listen, the stats are definitely interesting, and some interesting stats as we keep going. Let's move on to supporting female. I feel like this was a lock. Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. I thought it was a lock, and I still think it is going into the Oscars. I feel like it's more of a lock than you think it is, Jeff Snyder.
Yeah, I just don't think anything is really a lock when it comes to the Academy. I think that the Academy skews a lot older. Okay, I think there's a lot of people, a lot of young actors. They come to town, they get their SAG card, right, and now they're eligible to vote for the SAG Awards, and they may be more inclined to be familiar with Ariana DeBose, or I don't know. I'm not giving up on Kiki Dunst yet.
Oh, okay.
I acknowledge that Ariana is like,
Perri's
really
shaking her head. I'm Team Perri on this one. Go ahead, Perri.
I think it's been as close to a done deal as you can get for a little while now. I mean, Ariana DeBose has been at the top of my list for quite some time, and the SAG Award win pretty much just sealed the deal in my mind. Like I don't think there's going to be any scenario where I remove her from that #1 spot on Gold Derby.
I completely agree with you. From the beginning, ever since I saw West Side Story back in December, I thought, my gosh, she's absolutely the front runner. Last night with the SAG Award win certainly did, it work in her favor. And she is the first Latina to win the Film Acting SAG Award. And over the last, 27 years, or the previous 27 years, the SAG Award winner won the Oscar 19 out of 27 times, including last year when Yoo Jung-yoon won for both. So great speech and think absolutely she's the front runner here. Let's move on to
does Cody smit-mcphee's loss hurt Ariana DeBose somehow? Like if there is a faction within the Academy that wants to award The Power of the Dog in some way, right? And it was going to be Cody, it seemed like, for a while, and now it's not. Could people be like, oh God, if I can't even get Cody an award, should I shift my award in supporting actress and give it to Dunst?
Not happening, Perri, right?
Not happening. I think one of the reasons why that's not happening is because, don't forget, we have Jane Campion.
That's true.
And I think her win for Best Director is
but
is creeping.
But she did lose the Scripter Award this weekend, right?
Well, right, the USC Scripter Award, but I don't think that means anything for her chances for Best Director. I think
I just mean for screenplay, because people have thought that was even a
well,
you know, I
think screenplay's a little different. I don't think that Jane Campion is a lock for screenplay, but I think she's a lock. I think we can all agree that she's a lock for Best Director, making her the third woman to win Best Director, second year in a row. But no, I don't think that Troy's front running status will make people think, maybe I should now pick Kirsten Dunst in supporting actress. So Power of the Dog wins something. I don't think people are thinking like that. They're looking at Ariana DeBose in that yellow dress in West Side Story, and they're going, that's our winner. Let's move on to lead actor. Another lock here, Will Smith for King Richard. Amazing speech. Perri, what's your take?
It's over.
It's over.
Yes. It's like, I knew it was over before, but now it's really over. Will Smith is taking this all the way to the Oscar stage. He's going to get that statue, and I couldn't be happier for him.
I completely agree. Jeff?
Yeah, exactly. I've thought that this was a lock pretty much since this movie was announced, let alone having had to see it. I just think it's a perfect like Oscar bait kind of role, and he hit it out of the park. And Ronaldo Marcus Green did a great job with that movie. So I would expect to see Will Smith finally clutching his Oscar next month.
For sure. And also, I mean, he did produce the film, so he's got that momentum behind him as well. So the SAG winner won Best Actor at the Oscars 21 out of the previous 27 years, but not last year. Last year, Chadwick Boseman, the late Chadwick Boseman, won posthumously for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, while the Academy Award in a very, very last minute revelation went to Anthony Hopkins for The Father. And that was the end of last year's Academy Awards. That was crazy. So, all right. That is Will Smith. And let's move on to lead actress, which this is the widest open race. And I think that race got a little sharper when Jessica Chastain won lead actress for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, a role that she absolutely deserved to win. It was the showiest performance for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, but people were still saying that Nicole Kidman was the front runner because she's playing a beloved icon, Lucille Ball. Everybody loves Lucy, but last night everybody loved Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Jeff, what do you think?
Certainly shocking. Didn't see it coming. Never would have guessed it. But I don't think she's going to win the Oscar. And I'm willing to bet anyone on that. I just don't think it's happening. Don't think critics love the movie. Don't think it did well at the box office. Just no, not buying.
Oh, wait a minute. Back up a second, Jeff. You said you're willing to bet anyone on that. Are you ready to go for another?
I am. I'm
double
ready.
Or nothing. Double or nothing, my friend.
What did we bet on this?
Yeah, well, we had a bet where I won. You still owe me $20 because I haven't seen you.
Okay.
So we're gonna up it to
all right.
$40. I'm saying I'm predicting right now here on Perri's channel on FYC. I am predicting that Jessica Chastain wins Best Actress.
Deal. I will take that deal. I do not think Jessica Chastain is going to win Best Actress, especially after the SAG Award.
Okay, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think. Is Jessica Chastain now the front runner? Am I going to win more money from Jeff Snyder, which is always a pleasure? Or will Jeff finally win a bet against Movie Mans for the first time in a few years?
I got a second job to pay for all these bets.
I have a question, Jeff. Why did you phrase it? Now I really don't think Jessica Chastain is going to win, especially after SAG. I don't think I used your exact words, but it was something to that effect.
I feel like there will be some people who'll be like, we gave her a SAG for that.
No,
We don't need
no.
to give her an Oscar as well. Penelope Cruz is also eligible for the Oscar. She wasn't up for SAG, right?
No, she wasn't.
So I don't know. I think it's a different set of nominees, a different lineup of competition, and it's going to change the results.
Well, for sure, that's a valid point. There is different competition at the Oscars, and again, you don't have 160,000 SAG-AFTRA members voting for the Oscars. I think it's more like maybe 2,000.
Right.
A little,
like Kristen
right?
Stewart wasn't eligible for SAG, so it's like I definitely think that Kristen Stewart could win the Oscar over Jessica Chastain. This movie just was not very good. It's just like as simple as that.
No, listen.
She was very good in it, but
wait a minute. Hang on, Jeff. Spencer is a movie that's very divisive. People either really like it or they don't like it.
Who cares about divisive? No one liked Tammy Faye.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
True.
Who liked Tammy Faye?
A lot of people like Tammy Faye. I
liked the movie a lot.
Go, Perry.
I think Jessica Chastain was very deserving of that win, and I am mighty happy for her. My number one spot for the Oscar is still with Kristen Stewart, though. Again, I'm going back to the idea of the schedule being all over the place. Everything is a little messier than it was in past years. And I actually kind of put a lot of stock in what Jeff just mentioned with that mentality of like Jessica Chastain got the SAG win. Let's give Kristen Stewart the Oscar. And it's a different body. It's a different assortment of actors in that category. And even though I think Spencer is a divisive movie, it is not. I want to pull up Rotten Tomatoes a little now just to get a better sense of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tammy Faye was more widely embraced and loved versus Spencer. Because I know a lot of people who really don't like Spencer. But no matter who I've spoken to who doesn't like Spencer as a whole, still appreciates Kristen Stewart's performance in it. So I really do think that even though she's had a little bit of a bumpy road, I think she's going to get that Oscar.
Okay, well, that is an extremely valid point and one I completely respect. But I just feel like Jessica Chastain, she's, this is the toughest category. And I agree with both of your points. I see both of your points when it comes to Kristen Stewart, but I just feel like in my heart, I felt like Jessica Chastain deserved to win. I feel like she deserves to win the Oscar for this role. I mean, the movie is good, but she is great in it. It is a showy performance. She wears a ton of makeup. It's transformative. She has a Minnesota accent. She sings that final finale with her is just like her For Your Consideration moment. And I think that she's a beloved actress. And I just feel like that Jessica Chastain has the momentum. So let us know what you think below. Let's just say if it's between Kristen Stewart, Nicole Kidman, or Jessica Chastain, who do you think will win the Academy Award? Comment below or hit us up on social media and let us know. But
I have the Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
What is it?
Let's hear it.
Spencer was 83% from critics, and Tammy Faye was 70%.
And what were the audience scores?
Is probably
Spencer was at 52, and I think it was 87 for Tammy Faye.
Okay, well that says something because critics. I mean, I don't know how many Academy voters voted for the audience score on that, but that's still valid. That's still worthy. That still changes things up. So the SAG Award winner for lead actress won the Oscar for Best Actress 19 out of the last 27 years. Not last year when Viola Davis won for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and the Academy Award went for the third time for lead actress for Frances McDormand for Nomadland. And Becky Yaboa, Jessica over Kristen for sure, but pulling for Kidman, surprise. Abdullah Javed says, watch Olivia Colman walk away with it. You know what? She did it before. And that was the bet that I lost. So you know what? I think, can we agree, the three of us, that Best Actress is going to be one of the most exciting categories on the night of March 27th. Perri?
I'm so excited for this one.
yeah. Jeff?
And Best Picture. Picture.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Best Actress is going to be a barn burner. I'm here for it.
Well, speaking of Best Picture, or for the SAG Award equivalent, which is Outstanding Acting Ensemble. Holy moly. I jumped out of my seat, did a dance, went on social media, went crazy. You know, the three of us really have been singing the praises. See what I did there for Coda. And what a great night for Coda. I mean, after 13 months of really just championing this movie, the three of us, and never wavering in our love for it, even after the fall film festivals, you know, gave us the likes of King Richard and Belfast, you know, which are movies that we definitely liked a lot. But last night was such a wonderful, beautiful moment, history-making moment for the SAG Awards, the first movie featuring a deaf cast to win acting ensemble. And Perri, talk to me.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So happy. I have been rooting for Coda, just like you guys, since I saw it at Sundance last year. And it's like I really did deep down believe this could happen.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
It feels different when it really starts to happen. And, you know, I know winning the SAG Ensemble Award isn't a guarantee that it's going to take home Best Picture. But the second it won, it's not a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee at this point. But it is something that definitely works in its favor. And the second that it did win the SAG Ensemble Award, I went over to Gold Derby and I bumped it up to my number 2 position behind Power of the Dog.
Okay, I you know, when I was doing the Gold Derby for the SAG wins, I went with Coda, and I talked about Coda winning on KTLA here in Los Angeles. I said that was the movie that was going to win Best Cast, you know, for the SAG Awards. Jeff, talk to me. Like what went through your mind watching the SAG Awards?
I mean, I was thrilled. I just, you know, timing wise, this couldn't be any better. This is exactly what Coda needed at this point in the race. I think obviously it's going to come down to the below the line support of it all, right? We know that the actors really rallied behind Coda last night. So if you are, I don't know, a production designer or an art director or something like that, you know, obviously Dune and all these other Nightmare Alley, these crafts heavy movies are going to get the nominations. But when it comes time to vote for Best Picture, like, do you have to vote for something that reflects the incredible crafts that Hollywood offers, or do you just vote for whatever made you feel the most, right? And that's why I suspect that Coda is going to win, even though it doesn't have 12 nominations like Power of the Dog. I didn't expect it to get 12 nominations because it doesn't. I get that it doesn't have the sweeping vistas and the cinematography of that movie, but it just comes down to like a human story at the end of the day, and that is why I think it will resonate with all these below the line workers.
Well, I mean, Sean Heater should have been nominated for Best Director. I mean, you know, I get there's only five nominees there, but she was deserving of a nomination for Best Director. Interesting to note here, Perri and Jeff, that out of the previous 26 times, because the very first year at the SAG Awards did not have the Outstanding Acting Ensemble category, so the first year doesn't count. But out of the previous 26 times, Jeff and Perri, without looking online, without cheating, can you guess, Perri, how many times out of the last 26 years the SAG Ensemble winner won Best Picture? Can you guess?
I'll guess 17.
Jeff, what's your guess?
21.
I thought it was around those numbers too, certainly on the higher side, but only 12 times, 12 out of the previous 26 years that this category existed, did the winner here go on to win Best Picture. Now, some interesting things to note, that the Oscar frontrunner, Power of the Dog, which is nominated for 12 Academy Awards, whereas Coda is only nominated for 3, was not even nominated for Best Acting Ensemble. So, you know, that's really, really important to note. Also,
can I make one point on that, which is kind of interesting and worth considering and makes me want to do a deep dive and actually look into this more. But I also do wonder how many times the winner of Best Picture, if it didn't win a SAG Ensemble Award, was more focused on a single character, like a situation with Nomadland, where like there's no reason it would be nominated for Best Ensemble, but it still makes sense for it to win Best Picture.
Right. But that's a good point. That's a great point. But Perri, when you compare apples to apples in terms of the size of the cast for Power of the Dog and the size of the cast for Coda, they're about equal. It's not like Coda is like Trial of the Chicago 7, where you have this like massive cast, which did win the SAG Award for acting ensemble. But that's a good point. It's a really, really good point. Jeff, what are you going to say?
No, Perri hit the nail on the head, I think.
Okay, well, 3 out of the last 4 Best Pictures at the Oscars were not even nominated in this category. So clearly, Best Cast, Best Acting Ensemble win at the SAG Awards does not always go on to win the Oscar for Best Picture. The last time it happened was Parasite 2 years ago, of course, and that was where it is interesting to note, very important to note, that the momentum behind Parasite's history-making Academy Award wins began the night of the SAG Awards, maybe even earlier than that, when director Bong Joon-ho tied with Sam Mendes for Best Director at the Critics' Choice Awards. But this was the night. So, but listen, also West Side Story, not nominated in acting ensemble. It's nominated for Best Picture. And, so I really think that it's not really a fair apples to apples comparison.
You're
Best
right.
Picture, Best Acting Ensemble, because 2 of the big front runners, especially Power of the Dog, not nominated here. But still, I do have to say that because of the way that the Academy chooses the Best Picture winner, which is different than the other 22 categories, this sliding scale, which is like, I know we all know how that works, but it's probably too complex to explain here very quickly. But because of that sliding scale, I do think that, one, Coda is definitely a major contender now, and certainly I think it should win. I know you two do too. But it still does open the door for Belfast, which was shut out last night. It still does open the door for even King Richard. And of course, the door is wide open for The Power of the Dog. I think those are the 4 movies. Don't you think? Coda, King Richard, Belfast, and Power of the Dog, Perri?
No.
I do, plus West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story.
Those are my 5 right now. I think it's coming down to one of those 5.
Okay, Jeff.
No, I think West Side Story needs to be higher on the list.
Okay, so right now, Perri, pick the winner for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Coda.
Jeff?
Coda. Believe it.
Wow. I love it. Well, there you go. And of course, just got to give a big shout out to the winner for Outstanding Stunt Ensemble went to No Time to Die. Outstanding Cast in a Comedy Series went to Ted Lasso. No surprise there. Outstanding Cast in a Drama. Thought for a while there it was going to go to Squid Game. It certainly deserved to, but Succession did win, and that deserved to win as well. Jeff and Perri, any final thoughts on the SAG Awards and how it affects the Oscars? What do you think?
Can we talk about the ceremony for a hot second?
Sure.
Because I was talking to my mom after, and I feel like
Shari Nemiroff.
She's a good barometer for the general public and how they receive award ceremonies. And the first thing she said to me was, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What can the Oscars do to be more like the SAG Awards? Because I'll share in that sentiment. I thought the SAG Awards were quite fun, and I thought they moved quite well.
Well, they moved very well. I mean, they were just a little over 2 hours, which is
and they had no sketches. There were no skits.
Yeah, just cut to the chase. Let's get to the winners. And also, let's face it. I mean, the acting branch, SAG, after members, people in the audience, I mean, they're a very, very passionate group of people. So they're going to be very passionate on stage, the presenters and the winners. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I'd be curious to see how the ratings were last night, but I will say that watching the SAG Awards last night, for the most part, while I think we were all certainly thinking of, Shari Nemiroff is watching, thumbs up, big,
He's always watching.
Big ups to Shari Nemiroff. The only time I ever get retweeted by Shari Nemiroff is when I'm on a tweet with Perri. So thanks for the love there, Shari Nemiroff. But I do think that it's what was I saying? I was talking about I totally lost my train of thought.
The ratings for the SAG Awards. Waiting to see what those are.
How the ratings go. But for the most part, while I was watching the SAG Awards last night, it felt like a return to normal because most of the people were there, except obviously the cast of Ted Lasso and Kate Winslet. But it felt like a really welcome return to an in-person award show. But of course, we were all thinking about what's going on in Ukraine, and that was very, very prominent during the SAG Awards last night, especially Brian Cox when he took the stage with the cast of Succession. And of course, any award show, no matter what year, there's going to get political. So of course, everyone had to very much talk about Ukraine. But Jeff, what do you think about what the lessons the Oscars can learn from the SAG Awards?
So I didn't watch a second of the SAG Awards. I don't have cable. I followed along on social media or whatever. The Oscars are a different beast. They have a different goal. It's supposed to be a night of entertainment. There are supposed to be sketches and things like that. So I don't just want them to go up there and hand out 23 awards and call it a night. I want them to celebrate the year in cinema, and I don't care how long it runs. I know, obviously they just cut a whole bunch of categories from the live broadcast, and that has been not terribly well received by the Academy members, by critics. There's still plenty of time to walk that decision back, like the Academy's done with pretty much every other decision it's made the last few years. So we'll see. But I just want to see Code out there.
Yeah, I did too.
All I care about.
Perri, what is your take on the Oscars giving out a lot of the crafts awards? Yeah, I'm like,
I think it's awful.
Yeah,
and
it is awful.
I understand, change is hard, especially when it comes to something you watch every single year. But I'm very open to the idea of changing the ceremony for the better, as long as it doesn't take away from the value of an Oscar and what it means to be part of a film company that puts everything they have into making a movie. You just can't adjust the ceremony in a way that says these categories are better than these categories.
Right.
And that is what that move does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the winners for best sound should get just as much love attention as the winner for best actor or best director. Completely agree. I'm all for change. I don't know how to change it. I think every time they try to change it, they get backlash and they get but this is not the way to go. I completely agree. All right. Well, that brings us to another episode of FYC, wrapping up here on Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel. Make sure you share FYC on your social media platforms. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think of our take on the winners. Do you think everyone deserved it? How you think those winners will affect the winners at the Academy Awards? And until the next brand spanking new episode of FYC. You know the drill. FY, see you later.